Hey folks, welcome back to Guitar Wishlist. My name is 3-Chord Dave and today we're talking about the ES-140 from Gibson. Very cool guitar, we'll talk about in just a moment. But first, just got to remind you that every episode of Guitar Wishlist is influenced by this book right here, the 1001 Guitars You Should Dream of Playing Before You Die. You know what's cool? This book has guitars going back to the 16th century. Yeah, or it actually does. And it goes all the way up to 2013 because it needs to be refreshed. But anyway, some very cool stuff in here and I think you should check it out. There are links in the description to check out a copy. But pretty much, if you're into guitars, this book has got you covered. So check it out. So the ES-140, yeah, it's getting added to the Guitar Wishlist for the reason, and this might surprise some of you, that it is a 3/4 size guitar with a shorter scale length. Yep, this is basically a scaled down, see what I did there, version of the ES-175, which Gibson was making in 1949, but by 1950 they were like, let's do a student version, like just cut down some things. So it's a 3/4 size body, but it still has poplar maple laminate as the body construction, still has a mahogany neck, it still has rosewood on the fretboard, it still has a single dog ear P90 in the neck position because, you know, they were getting into the rock and roll spirit right there. It still had a trapeze tailpiece and they looked very cool, you know, with the Florentine cutaway and everything. As I said, 3/4 the size of the body of the ES-175. And that would make it stand out and look different to me. So very cool stuff right there. From what I can make out, the only things they're missing from the 175, you don't get split parallelogram inlays. Instead, you get dot inlays. You don't get a crown inlay on the headstock either. But are you gonna miss it? I don't think you are. So the ES-140 was produced initially in 1950 and the run basically was the same right up until 1956, where they were then replaced with the ES-140T. And as we know, if the T is put at the end of the numbers on a Gibson, it means thin line. So basically they just made a slimmer version. So now you had a slim 3/4 size body. I think that's pretty cool as well, but I want the full fat flavor here myself. So the ES-140 without the T is what's going on Guitar Wishlist. Now the 140T was actually produced from 1956 to 1968, just in case you're interested. It was stopped then in production, I believe, but the ES-175 continued. These days, if you want to pick one up on Reverb for the ES-140, you're going to pay somewhere around 5,700 euros. I'm guessing that's about $6,000 in the US. And if you want to pick up an ES-140T, you're actually going to pay a lot less, about 3,340 euros. So what's that? About $3,600. But if you want to go a full-fledged ES-175, they're going to set you back for one in good condition from the 50s, about 7,500 euros. Either way, these guitars make a great way to get into really, really cool vintage guitars from the 1950s. For a lot less money than you'd be paying if you're buying like a Les Paul or an ES-335 or something like that, and you still get some very cool stuff and features on them. So let me know what you guys think of the ES-140 and maybe even the ES-175 from Gibson. Something I'd love to add to the collection someday. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Don't forget guys, Guitar Wishlist will be back every single Monday. And we do 3-Chord Dave live on Saturday, so make sure you're subscribed for that. And I'll see you very soon again on another guitar video. And until then, take care.